Good evening and welcome to Inside the Urban Bottom Line. My name is Samuel Bass. I am your host. This is, as I said before, our 25th year is producing this television show that soon will be all over the nation. We're looking at places of other stations that will be carrying our program. But the point I'm getting to is many people have, in the last year, this is the first time I've been in the new studio here, Focus Springfield. And we'd like to really thank them for providing such a service in this community and helping me grow to understand and be a fixture in the media industry, located down on the corner of State and Main, the new Focus Springfield. And this is the first time in a while that we've been inside the studio, and people have asked me to come back in. And the last year or so, we've been going through a lot and been out to the park and filming shows. And I do believe that the nature is a part of a backdrop. But the bottom line is we're now in the studio and hoping to continue bringing you some of the best information, conversation anywhere in the nation, but particularly in Pioneer Valley. So if I can say once again, welcome to the program. And I just want to give you a quick synopsis on some things, and I'm going to introduce my guests to you. The last year, there has been so much that we've gone through living in life, and I'll share that with you later on. But we're coming up on Mother's Day, so I thought it would be a great time to share and start new, sharing with some guests and some new programming that's coming up that I'm going to share with you. However, I'd like to just make a quick point about Mother's Day and mothers. And over the years, it's been a while since mother's gone to be with the Lord, and I've said before, people handle things in different way. People have asked me, come up to me, well, how long has your mother been passed, and blah, blah, blah. And my answer has always been, I don't put dates on things that are traumatic to me. That's how I handle it. All I know is that I'm receiving the power to go on, and that's one of the things that's happened. So basically, I wrote a song entitled 7 Years of Get Back. Everybody handles things differently, and it actually has taken me 7 years to just get through this and want to move on, and that's how my parents, my ancestors, and people would want it, and I would be selfish to do what I wanted to do, which was just go and get out and go somewhere else and say, forget about it, Springfield. So anyway, we're here, and there's a purpose to be here. About Mother's Day, then I'll introduce my guest to you and share with you in other shows some of the powerful people that I've lost in my life, and many of you have lost. One is Ben Adams. Many of you know Ben. Ben was a good friend of mine. He worked for the city, and he was a fixture in the community. And last week, Mr. Lewis Jones, who reminded me of my father, once again, who was gone. He was gone first. But it's been a tough time. I'll share that with you later. Mothers. I just want to say one thing about mothers, and it relates to all I'm going to say right now about the dynamics that we're seeing in this country within the inner cities with the dynamics of police and the youth and the black community and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to deal with that right now, and it's not for me right at this point to go too deep about that. I'll just say I'm just seeing what's going on. But what I wanted to make a mention of is the mother that was filmed when she went to get her son. And it made me think about life and mother and family and fathers. And my point being is that it makes me also think about my mother and why I'm here today, even today, talking to you or alive today, because my mother had a great father, and he handled business too. So I'm not one going to cry, like I said at the service. Any madness that I've done in my lifetime, I can't blame it on my father or my mother. So it was my madness. I had a wonderful, powerful father, but life is that. Anything that I did and paid for it and owned it. My mother, when I saw the lady go out and slap her son around, it made me think about the dynamics and the love, and maybe my mother and our family. Mothers are the essence of life. It said, you teach a woman, you teach a man, you teach one person. You teach a woman, you teach a whole nation. I've shared that with you previously. My mother never slapped me. I'm thinking about she didn't slap me. Chased and pleaded with me a couple of times on some of my attitude, which is, she knew that I was just, I would challenge. I was fearless in what I believed. So she used to tell me things that I didn't want to hear. You can't do this. You can't do that. They're this and they're that. I said, Mom, I don't care nothing about that. So what I'm saying, my mother had to pray for me, and I realized how much now as I look back on life and it's revealing some things. And so I just wanted to share that. She would pray and gave me agape love and true love, and I loved her, and she loved me unconditionally. She didn't have to slap me, but it reminded me of how many times what mothers do in the essence of that. But I had a good father. And so we're going to share some more with you later on. Glad to be back in the seat inside. Tonight with me are two people I met a couple of years ago. I met them, and, I believe in faith. I'm not talking religion, but spiritual and life. And it's like, and at this point in my life, people are not coming into my life unless they have some type of positive relationship. That's how I believe the Father is working in life when you've been through some things. And I met these people, and I met Sifu Vega before with Jason, and then I met Wanda. These two people are involved in a program and a movement and a philosophy that I, in a small way, have been a part of and I support, and they're going to be producing a show that I'll help them produce and be a part of. It's called Martial Enlightenment. Now, what the show is about, well, I'll let them share that part of Martial Enlightenment, and but I've learned some things and their experience in it. But I would like to introduce them by saying that I met the Sifu Vega down at the Shaolin Temple, and how I met him, which led me to meet these two, and a young man named Jarius, and wonderful people that are serious about what they're about. And the reason why I'm so excited about sharing it, because when I met Sifu Vega at the Shaolin Temple, you've seen him on here before when we did the show on the martial arts and Tai Chi from the studio with Stan Baker. When I met Sifu, one of the things I've always been like this, and said it to a detriment truth, I shared with him exactly what was going on in my mind and who I am. And usually over my life, one of the things that caused me anger and pain and loneliness is because most people, even my family and people, could not receive my truth. My mother was the only one, and Daddy, but my mother, she knew me and knew my truth a long time ago. And when I met Sifu, I mean, he flinched a couple of times. When I speak to him, he's a master artist. And here I'm telling him, okay, this, and this. This is what I'm about. This is what I want you to do. This is who I am. You want to turn your back on me or what? So anyway, it's been a beautiful experience. And I've been an athlete all my life, and played basketball all my life, and messed around with judo and stuff, and boxing, Duke belt, and the Dunbar. But this part of my life is another level in Tai Chi and martial arts and the mental, what I needed, and you do need it too. I believe that you cannot, it's mind, body, and spirit is how we've got to walk this. And I do believe that this program will be a solution to some of the problems that we're having with young people in this community, and people with dealing with how do you calm your mind and deal with your stuff on the inside. With me tonight is Jason Cardona. See, I wrote it down, still got it wrong.
I see you in class.
Oh, yeah. He's a bad man. So he's one of the teachers, and a good man and wise, and I'm glad to meet him and got to know him. And also, Wanda Dovila. How do you say it? Davila. See that? I'm going to learn some Spanish, too, when I ain't got to pay for it. These two are the two hosts and the founders of Martial Enlightenment, the program that's going to be aired here, and hopefully, I believe, all over the nation, with the value of what's entailed, in my belief, else I wouldn't be a part of it, really, if I didn't believe it had, benefit people. So what we're going to do tonight is spend some time talking with you two about your life, because that's the essence of the show, will be not so much, but what it's done for you and how you got into it. I think that would be first. And to share your story about martial arts and what it's done for you. Tell us about what you think the program, your idea of the program, Martial Enlightenment. Why Martial Enlightenment, Jason?
Well, over the years, in my lifetime anyway, the martial arts in general has helped me out through a lot of, especially harsh times. A lot of stressful situations, especially in my youth when I used to have a very bad temper.
Bad temper.
I noticed that I had to get myself and do something that would help me calm down.
Yes.
So back in '95, I met Chico Lisandro Vega, and so I started training with him in Northern Shaolin and Eagle Claw, and it was, it was good. But then all of a sudden I started changing my life around. The system decided to lock me up. That only lasted like a very short time, like a month or 2 or 3.
That's enough.
Yeah, I mean, by that time I already knew what I wanted and I was going for it.
Right.
And I was already focused on moving through. So
Right.
whatever the system wanted to do or to help me out or keep me in, that had nothing to do with my decision to just keep moving forward. So when I got out, I had a very good caseworker named Juan Rivera, right, from North End, very good guy. And he helped me get sponsored by DYS, which is now DCF. Yeah. They sponsored me to go to my first tournament, which was in San Francisco. And that was my first time on an airplane. Had a pretty bad time with that one because it started shaking in midair at one point. So it went over there, had a good time in San Fran, competed, came back with a bronze, and then from there I started just moving on up. And ever since then, I have been training under Lisandro Vega since September of 1995. This September coming up will mark my 20th year anniversary training under him.
It's a beautiful, he's a powerful, beautiful person.
Throughout this whole time, I've done a lot of things from security to cooking to bail enforcement, bounty hunting, whatever they want to call it these days, to law enforcement, mostly part-time and special policing. But right now, I'm a constable for the city of Chicopee. And not to mention, as well as when I've done a lot of stage work and volunteer work with the community, especially the Vietnamese American Civic Association, based in Forest Park in Springfield.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with that.
I worked with them a lot on their shows, doing those fight scenes, making them look like Jackie Chan and Jet Li on the stage.
Is that right? Yeah, you're good, too.
So it was good. And right now, I'm currently full-time trying to manage and run my company that I started in 2003, but now I just finished incorporating and everything. And
what's the name of the company?
The Service USA LLC. And I'm hoping to incorporate in China as well, where I went last year. I spent a year there, and I've seen a lot of business opportunities. So everything that I'm doing here in the United States, I'll be doing over there, with the exception of constable law enforcement.
Well, the temple's down on what we do, the school we call it. I used to call it sometimes. What did I say? The classes. It's the Sholan Temple.
Shake my head.
It's the school down on 284 Bridge, right?
284 Bridge.
If people, we'll get to that after about how people could take advantage.
Actually, we started there. I started training there in 1995, and up until this day, we're still there. In and out, back and forth. And right now, from what I see, especially what's going on in the world in general, a lot of things could be, a lot of people, they are looking to, for answers to their problems by focusing on the outside. What can they do? A lot of them either go to drugs or they go to...
Come on with the truth.
Or they look to a bad relationship or whatever it is. They're always looking for the outside to get the answers to what they can find inside themselves.
That's right.
You know, and martial arts helped me realize that big time.
Okay, we'll get back to you. Let's introduce this. The bottom line, this beautiful woman that is also a martial arts practitioner, and we'll jam you up if you mess around if you have to. And then, like what we say that 2 weeks ago, I've said this before. You know, our sign, our signal when we're starting or leaving an exercise. And I was saying to Wanda, I said, you know, I went on the TV and I said, hey, the sign means, hey, this is peace. I love peace. I do not like trouble and war. Never did, never will. But behind the peace, you got to know war and the hammer. And remember, we wanted to say you got to know, in order to have peace, you got to know the other side.
Absolutely.
So if you be so kind as to tell the audience who you are and how you got into martial arts and a little bit about martial enlightenment, what you think.
Sure. Well, first of all,
I'm going to sit closer to the mic.
Have 3 wonderful daughters, and when I had my second daughter, I found myself going through a really tough time, emotionally and everything else, just managing life in general. And you know, God has a funny way of always bringing the right people into your life at the right time.
Absolutely.
And He introduced me to this wonderful family who introduced me to Grandmaster Griffin, who I decided to train under.
Master Griffin?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Ain't no joke.
Back in 2003. And that was just the answer for me. I started attending the classes with my daughter. It was something that we did together. And from there, I just found peace, and it just healed me from the inside out. My journey has been more of a spiritual one. As long as physical, you know, you have the physical aspect, you get in shape, you learn how to defend yourself. But for me, it has been a spiritual journey.
Me too.
And that's what I have gained through the arts.
Wow.
So far, I've been in the arts for about 11 years. I'll be 12 years this November, under Grandmaster Griffin. I just recently left the organization just to explore different avenues and see what else is out there. And again, God, you know, has a funny way of bringing the right people, and introduced me to Jason, who has introduced me to many other projects, and of course, now I know you, Sifu, and just a group of wonderful people. And now we have the Martial Enlightenment, and I'm really excited to meet other martial artists and hear their stories.
That is wonderful. Master Griffin, that was my man too. He used to listen to me on the radio. He used to call my radio show,
Yes, sir.
and we got to be pretty tight. I know a few of the people that from his organization. I didn't know it was Master Griffin though.
Yes, sir.
That's a bad man.
Yes, sir.
A bad, good bad.
Good bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, man. Shoot, man.
Yes, he is truly missed.
Oh, I'm
That's for
sure.
sure.
You know that's right. So yeah, let's, if you don't mind, let's share the concept of martial enlightenment, because you asked me to get involved, and I've been in marketing, and I don't touch things, enough on my plate. Didn't have to do anything else in life, just getting done what I already have to do. But when I started thinking about the martial enlightenment, is we're always spiritual ministers. We're going to always want to help people. Sometimes we get tired. Sometimes I used to talk about going to go to the Caribbean island and forget everything. Don't want to be bothered. Nobody and nothing but some peace. But that's not reality, right?
Yes, sir.
So I see this as a ministering. I said, man, because these people, not just young people, but people in general, like you said, I've been in faith, I've brought up in the church, and I'd say this with no hesitation. I tell them, I said, listen, I would not tell you anything that I haven't tried. I will not lead you any place that I will not go, and I wouldn't share anything. And I said, listen, my understanding about the inside, I said, this is mind, body, and spirit. And you cannot, what word can I use? I'm not being negative. I said, but you cannot ceremony, activity, and talk this thing out all the time. And I've been studying the script, faith and all that. And then I believe that, like you said, mind, which is the Tai Chi, the martial arts, and that's quickly, in the little time I've been with you all, that's what I've got, that peace and out of it. And I've been studying all my life, spiritual, but then knowing and being man enough to admit, like I told Sifu, I said, look, man, sometimes this thing pops up. Help me. I know the benefits. Show me how to, direct this thing and this, because I'm not ashamed. Relate to you. And I used to be ashamed of that that nature in me, that hidden anger and things that I knew, because I said, as a man thinketh, so he is. And I used to be ashamed. Now, wisdom said, if I were not like that, I would have never survived. You know, if I wasn't that tenacious. And I said something once before, tenacious in a sense that having that kind of fire allowed me, this is heavy, that kind of nature allowed me to be able to withstand it, to withstand life. Because if I turned that loose, it was all over in a negative way.
Absolutely.
So being able to endure and go through that has saved me in having that kind of nature. See what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Talked about how martial enlightenment, what you all think, is going to benefit the community, the people, and all of that stuff.
Right. I mean.
Oh, we still. Yeah, we just lost picture of mother, my beautiful mother. Okay, you can go ahead, Jason.
She's gonna get you.
She's watching.
But you know, first, you know, the stepping stone to any community, village, nation, the world in general, starts with one person. You know, and you have to change yourself from within before you try to, you know, go and change the world without. It is, and basically, martial enlightenment is basically how to use martial arts or the arts of war, because that's basically what martial arts is.
Yes.
You know, to be able to take what you have into a positive and use that and channel it into a positive thing.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of things that people would think is negative, like anger,
right,
things of that nature.
Come on.
Especially like, you know, like I said, growing up in my youth, I was always angry and stuff like that. Now that's still a part of me, but I learned to channel it into a more positive way.
There you go.
You know, so that's Martial Enlightenment, the show, you know, is basically based on how to use, especially if you're a martial artist, or anybody in general, how to take what you have and better yourself using the strategies that you learn in martial arts. A lot of shows out there, you know, they show a lot about how to take guns off of people, you know, how to do a beat down, how to escape a situation.
Right.
You know, how to, I hate to do this, but, you know, they do it all the time, you know, the bar scene, you know, how to fight your way out of a bar.
Right,
like
right.
that. You know, but, you know, not really any of them you know, are able to inspire you in such a way to how can you take that concept into the courtroom?
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a lawyer, how do you use that same concept to win the case? You know, as a doctor, how do you use that same concept to be able to, you know, think outside the box to find a cure for whatever is ailing the patients?
This is powerful, yeah.
You know, as a minister, you know, how can you take what you have and use it to uplift the morale of the people around you?
That's right.
Anything like that. So it is, you know, the martial arts in general does not separate mind, body, and spirit, because you cannot do one without the other.
That's right.
You know, so whatever affects your mind will undoubtedly affect your spirit and your body. Whatever affects your body will undoubtedly affect the spirit and the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You can't separate, so you must be able to work all three together and harmonize so you can get that out there and be better.
What do you think, Wanda?
Well, I agree with everything Jason said. Now, from my end, what I would like to bring to the show is the background of the individuals in the martial arts.
Absolutely.
And just get the first-hand stories from these members as to how the martial arts changed their life.
Absolutely.
How do they apply martial arts to their daily life?
Right.
Because martial arts is not something that you put on hold. This is you eat, breathe, and live it.
It's way of life.
24/7. I would really like to hear how many stories are out there and share that with everyone.
All over the world.
All over the world. As many people that are willing to share their stories, I want to hear them.
There we go. Martial enlightenment is going to be powerful. I already know it. You know, that's wonderful.
Yes.
You know, God sends his medicine, and right now I agree this is a medicine they need.
Absolutely.
People.
Absolutely.
You were saying, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, Sam. Martial arts has had a huge impact in my life. Mm-hmm. So I know there are more stories out there. that I'm just looking to explore, and hopefully someone can take something from it that would change their life. You know, Grandmaster Griffin was a great instructor. I saw him take people and break them down, but his biggest lesson to me was more spiritual.
Yeah.
He always gave me advice on, he always told me, put your family first. God first, family second, martial arts third. Have perfect balance.
Yeah.
And always go within yourself first. And that's what I did for many years. I closed myself out to the world, no television, no phone, no nothing. I just looked within myself. Because I don't want to be here, and I don't like to use this word, but kind of be a hypocrite. I want to be able to, if I say something is from experience,
Right, absolutely.
it's something that I have been through, that I have lived and overcome.
Absolutely.
And that's just my view on it.
And the thing about, you know, when you've been out there, and like your example, and Jason's, and I have a big family, been in this community all my life, and in Connecticut TV and moving south and different things. But people watch you. And they watch it, you know, more what you do than what you say. My point being, I was talking to my daughter, Raina. Everybody know I love my daughter. I love my people. I love, you know, and I've shared with her. And I remember when I first started, and we're talking martial and Tai Chi, which is we'll let them talk about how that's being combined. I want to get to that. But just a quick story about Raina. Just 2 days ago, I was talking to her the other night, and they've been watching me. And I've always been peaceful and been a leader. And they said, they're a big family, but they say, get it done before you have to go to Mustafa. They call it Mufasa, my family. They say, handle it up front, because when you get there, it's on. And they said they got stages where all the fellas, nephews, nieces, and everybody know that don't call him. Work it out, because if you call him, I'm coming I want answers. Even with school, as a father, they knew in this school system, they know, as other shows, I've said it, they say, if Mr. Samuel Bass said he's coming to that school, make sure he's coming. He's coming for his children, or those he will come, and you don't have to, you know, beat me over the head with it, with my children. And so the other day, Raina was saying, I told her and Dana, they're all together in New York, and about 6 or 7 young girls I used to watch over on the radio. They said they controlled me, and I looked out for them. Now they're all together in New York, but I told them all. I said, first and foremost, in this world, I said, you all are going to learn. You need to learn self-defense, how to, especially in a world that, you know, marginalizes women and all that. I grew up with all that. I don't play none of that. Especially, you know what I mean? And I would say to them, you all are going to learn it. As I'm learning, I had just kind of began, and I said, because I always taught them mind, body, but a particular body. So the other day, Raina, when she came home for, I think, her last holiday, last night she said, Daddy, you know, I was sharing with her, she said, you be doing that in the morning too now. She said, because I was in the bed, I heard this in there. I said, absolutely, Raina. And so I said to all of you all, I told them the other day, and I had told them before, but the other day, because they're paying attention now, I said, look, all of you daughters and sons want to learn is going to be a part of this kingdom that we build enough goodness, power, so you will learn this. You know, so she said, okay, Daddy. So I just want to share that piece that she said. I didn't know she was listening, but she heard me say, Daddy, yeah, and you come home and you show us and you teach us and share things with us that you've learned. She said, but you do that every day, in the morning, huh? I heard you in there. She said, what is that? And that's what I just wanted to share with you. She was listening the other in the morning. So tell us about, if you don't mind, about you know, the end of the martial art piece that you think is going to benefit the young people, what the problems they have today.
Well, first off, in martial arts, one of the first things you learn is structure.
It's discipline and
Structure.
Structure.
One of the first things you learn is structure. I'm pretty sure you remember the horse dance.
Right.
Your favorite.
Yeah.
The horse dance, right? How to stay in the horse dance.
That's
that
right.
Build structure. You know, so that concept of building structure, not just in the body, but also in life.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing you learn to build structure. From there, through structure, you can also learn discipline.
Yeah, discipline. That's key.
Yeah. So if you learn to build your own structure, now you're learning to build your own self-discipline. If you can discipline your body, now you're also disciplining your mind. And if you discipline the mind, now you're disciplining your spirit as well. You know, so, you know, the young folks, you know, they need structure in their lives. You know, right now we got parents working 2 or 3 jobs. You know, they live their job more than they live with their own children and stuff like that. So the state or whoever it is that's providing education for them is doing that's actually teaching the children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's one of the things that, you know, hopefully this show can bring about. You know, for when I turn on TV and I see all these things on, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I see all these things on, like, let's say, you know, Worldstar Hip Hop or whatever it is that's going on the internet, they mostly portray our communities as either violent, hypocritical, and things like that, because that's what sells.
Right.
You know, conflict sells, drama sells, period. Look at these reality shows. A lot of people know Kim Kardashian, and who is that other, there's a few other people out there, all right? They know Kim Kardashian and a whole bunch of other people that aren't being beneficial to the community at all, but they don't know who the founding fathers here are. A lot of people, they can quote Wiz Khalifa,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't quote Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or, you know, JFK. You know, people that actually had impacts on their nations. And I find that pretty bothering to me. So through martial enlightenment, we are learning to, you know, focus on ourselves, and from there, and teach. So it's also what's that called? The way I know it in military terms, it is a force multiplier.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is that we're doing here, we teach others to teach others to do.
That's right. Each one teach one.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Yeah. Wanda, what do you think?
Well-
From a girl, let's focus up, because I made a statement earlier, and I know my history about women. I mean, my daddy, you know, I used to say, Daddy, I can't watch everybody, but he let me know. I learned early, and it actually, how I got to play football, I used to make my sisters, and I was boxing at the Dunbar, and I'd stop, you know, practicing on them, and he caught me one day being a little too forceful. I'll never forget this, and I've said it. My father took me, he said, listen, do not hurt my daughter. Don't hit them girls. He loved me too, but he said, you don't hit on a girl. I didn't know it, you know, I'm just doing. And that 2 weeks later, he took me out to Blunt Park to the football, and he told Pete Robinson, he said, look, do something with him, because he likes to bang and run into. So my point being, the world, and I believe all the stuff that's going on with in the world with what people think about abusing women and the idea that women are weaker and blah blah blah, which I know is not the truth. What do you think martial enlightenment and martial arts does for the nature of a woman? Because we are different now in our nature. Yeah, So what do you think it does from the woman perspective?
Well, I have.
I'm not being, you know what I'm
No,
saying. I'm not being sexist, none of that.
No, not
okay.
at all. But the one thing that you will learn as soon as you walk into any school is that there's no such thing as gender.
Hallelujah.
If you want to be treated with respect, respect yourself first. Once you walk in through the door, you're not a woman, you're not a girl, you're not a female. You're a student, you're a practitioner. And personally, I get offended if I'm treated like a woman. I get offended if I get treated as a weaker sex, or if you don't hit me, I'm offended. Hit me as hard as you would hit the person next to me. Yes.
Well, yeah.
And that's something that you, as women, we need to accept. We need to stop looking at ourselves as different. I am Wanda, and that's how I view myself. And that's what I hope other young ladies or other women out there can take from it.
This is going to be a positive. I already know, from a spiritual standpoint, what martial enlightenment, what you all are bringing, is going to be a benefit to this whole community. I see thousands of people calling the number, how to get in touch with martial enlightenment to come and be ministered to and taught this. I really believe that. Else I wouldn't be really doing this or saying that. So I really believe that. That's powerful. That's one piece I just learned. So when you walk in the door, ain't no gender in here.
No, absolutely.
No wonder, because a couple of times I've mentioned something close to that. When I first mentioned, he would flinch. I didn't say nothing real bad, but I would start that. I would say things, about off the record. And it was C4. Actually, C4 looked at me once before when I first started, and something I mentioned, and he kind of looked, because it was like how people think. And he was sharing me, he said, look, there's some women in this world that'll destroy any man. You know, and that's how he said it, you know, that was a philosophy, what he was showing me, that in here, in this, is not a gender thing at all. So that's coming back to me now, you know, because I didn't, you know, we have our things and learning. I admit I've been around a lot, but I'm learning quickly, even for me, point in case, these people that watch me, a lot of the young people watch my show for years because I see them in the community, the toughest of the toughest. Mr. Babb, we see your show, you this and you that. I said, I'm just speaking what I know and where I've been. If you ain't been in the lion's den, you can't tell me about the lion's den. And I've been in the lion's den, the fire, quicksand, and the storm. So the point I'm getting to is I used to tell my mother, I used to try to open buildings and programs and we had these problems. And she said, oh, baby, you going? And I go into at nighttime. She said, you walk up around the streets at night and blah, blah, blah. This is years ago. I said, Mother, listen, I refuse to live in fear. I mean, I understand the gang, the guys. And I would tell her, I said, look, I look the guys right in the eye and ask her, how was your day today? A little tough, you know, the gangsters or whatever. And I say, have a nice day, or excuse me, I'm going in. And I was very nice to them. But the point I'm getting to is that in my mind, this is what I share with Seafood. I don't mind. I'm the bottom line guy. I'm kicking this thing. This is real because I'm through it. In my mind, I used to tell my mother, say things like, and Father, there's certain things I'd watch that I wouldn't take. I said, I'm slavery, whatever, and all that stuff. I said, yeah, blah, blah. I said, no, I don't care. So she would say, I would say to her, you know, I wasn't afraid. But in my back of my mind, like I said with Seafood, was that I walked with that destructive force that society says wins, and they put on TV. So I was always, you know, here's the limit. This is not going to happen. And I would hate that feeling that if I have to do that to someone. My point I'm getting to is that today, by the study of martial arts and the spirit of what's gone in my mind, it's calmed me to have the confidence to know that, man, you wouldn't have to do that. You know, you don't want to do that. So that's my testimony. And people know me. I've been, you know, been through it. To share that with you. For me, I said, look, that's what it done for me. I'm more confident, more peaceful, knowing that you can do this to somebody. I don't want to, but always having that, but that having that piece in the back of my mind, I didn't like that, and I shared that with Seafood. He understood. I said, man, I don't like that thought that, that would be the, instantly to get people off me. Right. And that's what we have in the world today. So I'm thankful to be able to share that with you. So come get some martial enlightenment from these two in the Sholan Temple and Seafood. So what do you think about what I just said? You looking like you had a comment on what I was saying.
No, I mean,
I had to share that.
In general, it all boils down, like what you're saying about going to communities and stuff like that, and even talking to the gangsters. I mean, because I can pretty much almost go to any community. Given my background, as law enforcement and things like that, a lot of people, my demeanor when I walk into a place, people see a cop.
Oh, a cop, yeah, the cop,
or
a
soldier
cop.
or something.
Right.
So I can't change that. That's part of who I am. I've lived it, and I continue living it because I'm what you would call like a shepherd dog.
A what?
A shepherd dog.
Okay, a shepherd dog.
A sheepdog, whatever they call it.
Okay.
So it is, it all boils down to respect.
Right.
So like when I was working corrections and everything, I mean, the inmates, everybody, they shake my hand, say hi, how's your day, and things like that. And because we know our boundaries, but at the same time, it still boils down to respect.
Right.
At times, yeah, you have to check them, but, at the end of the day, they knew it was nothing personal because they needed to calm down. And they, I mean, all I know is, they grew up not knowing how else to handle those situations.
That's right, Jason.
Now here's somebody that actually giving them advice, how to handle the stress, how to handle things properly without, endangering themselves and others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I was able to gain respect of the inmates and criminals that are out here in the streets. So even if you see me down the street and I'm talking to a drug dealer or whatever, you got to remember first and foremost, we're human beings.
Right, right.
They're not actually selling drugs or anything because they want to.
Right.
So it's not my job to judge them. It's my job to guide them.
Yes, that's wonderful.
You know, so in China, I did the same thing. You know, I got a couple students over there. One of them left to France. You know, they want me to travel over there and continue teaching and stuff, but I'll be hopefully doing that soon. But, you know, hopefully whatever experiences that I've had in my life that I can help everybody else with, and they can learn something, that'll be great.
And the tie to, let me tie it in because we got a little more time, but the other piece is the Tai Chi. Now, I told Sifu, and I'm telling you, I've said this, I'm an athlete, love basketball, and I want to be a ball player, but there I've learned there are muscles, and I thought I was in great shape, and I am. But then I learned about Tai Chi and the psychology and the body and muscles and things I've never used. I lift weights and stuff, and then find out, so man, you know, there's things about in your body you have never used.
Yeah,
and
Tai Chi is a martial art, first and foremost.
You're no joke either.
But it's also extremely technical.
Yeah.
Which is why Tai Chi and Aikido are very difficult to learn, and you know, and especially apply, because it's extremely technical. It's details.
Amazing, and that's the part that I've learned, because, like I tell them, I said, there's no talking a lot. I share people that when we go to we're at the school, and I'm sharing with people. I said, now look, you know, you say you want to come. I said, listen, because we're known for talking, blah blah. People talk. I said, look, and they look at me. I said, there's no talking, because if you're not going to apply, it's no use coming, because it's not talking. If you're not going to apply the technique, and I said to myself that how it got me, and Sifu told me, and he shared the Chinese philosophy and blah blah blah. But as a visual, I used to see Chinese people, and it amazed me how Chinese be 90 and 100 years old, walking like they're 40, and I'm withstanding health. And so when I get, what really fascinates my sisters, like in family, some Sundays, depending on how I feel, I show them how I can drop down. Now their eyes get up, and I said, look, Chinese can drop down in the horse stands and lower and stand there and sit there for 10 minutes. And I've shown people that. And they just go absolutely bananas. I said, well, one day, if you want to. And just squat and stay there. You know, they've never seen nothing like that. You know me, I act up a little bit and just drop right in the middle. And they almost go crazy. Look, I said, yeah, well, you can do that. So I just to share that part about the Tai Chi and the combination, how martial arts and the two of them, it's just awesome. It's a powerful, powerful force for positivity in a person's life. No age doesn't matter. But Tai Chi is more for, it can be people 90 and 100 years old can do Tai Chi, right?
When I was in China, I'm looking at people that are in their 80s still doing tombe, which is, you know, and also fanji, which is the somersault boxing, you know, like that, jumping around. And I'm like, okay, you know what? When I'm 90 years old, I want to be like that.
You know that's right.
You know, I don't want to be in a nursing home.
You know that's right.
You know, so, you know, it is...
Helps high blood pressure,
high blood
distress,
pressure.
Depression, all of that.
I got to stay away from that penin.
So what is that word?
I got to stay from the pork. It's a pork thing.
Yeah, I understand.
I got to stay away from that.
I don't mess with it too much if I can help it either.
It is, you know, and it's, I forgot what I was going to say, but if I remember, I'll let you know. So, but all I can say is that, you know, it is very, very, very good experience doing what we're doing.
These are going to be your two hosts, ladies and gentlemen. These are the founders of Martial Enlightenment, Jason Cardona,
yeah.
and Wanda Davila. Okay, got it right. They're going to be your hosts and the founders of Martial Enlightenment, a program, an activity that's going to be, I think, very beneficial to this community and beyond. So look for this is an introduction. I shared with them that being a guest here with our show and let people know that I am involved and supportive and helping marketing and whatever I can to be a part of something so powerful as Martial Enlightenment. And the other key is that you don't know who judges, you don't know who is taking martial art. So they're looking for people that want to share their story. I think you said that. So this is awesome. This is the bottom line. So, what would you like to continue? We've got about 10 minutes to go. What is something that you'd like to share? About life, or what you think what you want to do, or
now one thing is
what makes you happy.
A lot of things make me happy. My children, number one.
Okay, there you go.
They're doing I gotta watch my language here. They're doing a heck of a lot better.
Yeah.
They're doing a heck of a lot better than I did when I was their age. Sometimes I would get phone calls from their mother. Oh, they're doing this and that, and I go over there, and I'm saying like, hold on, they're doing what? And I'm like, whew. I mean, when I was their age, I was doing something totally worse.
Oh man.
And because my mother was always working.
Mm-hmm.
A single mother of 5 children.
Wow.
All she did is work. So what do you think all 5 of her kids are doing while she's gone? Oh yeah. So causing mayhem and whatnot. So, but obviously, yeah, we would get her when she gets home. And that was back in the day when the cops would take us home to our parents, not straight to jail, not this jail, whatever. And then they're standing there watching us get whipped.
Yeah. What about you? Go ahead.
So all I can say is I learned from that big time, and I'm very proud of my children for what they're doing, and I'm doing what I can to be a part of their life, even though mother and I are separated. We know that we need each other it takes 2 people to make sure that the kids grow up correct.
That's one of the major issues we talk about in life.
Correct. So people say women are the weakest sex or whatever. All I have to do is point to my mother and be like, really?
Likewise. Yeah, we all know.
I mean, if that's the case, how many, I would like to mention this. It might make everybody laugh here, but I don't care. So if women are supposedly the weakest sex, how many fights start in bars over women?
Good point. Over women, you say.
Over women, supposedly. How many wars start, like let's say Helen of Troy or something like that.
Right.
Excalibur or whatever.
All over the world.
How many
women aren't starting them?
How many guys, for some reason, I don't know why they posted stuff on Facebook. Oh, my girl, I'm broken hearted, I can't live no more. Stuff like that.
That's the power of the woman.
That's right.
So, if women are so much weaker, why do they have so much control over your life? You understand? Yin yang. Yin and yang. You must harmonize.
Right. Well, I used to do talks at Summers Prison, and I remember I have letters they wrote me over the years. Oh yeah, I'm putting some of them in the book. It was over the years, and when I was on radio, I used to go speak up at Summers Prison. They changed the program, but I talked to the inmates. 7 gates before you got to the gym. I said, oh my God. But one of the things that when I go and talk, as soon as I mentioned, I said, look, many of you here in this jail, you're here because of your relationships with the women. They freeze up. And I start with your mother. So a lot of them were ready to talk. What was your relation with your mother? And by the end of the day, they were understood what I was coming from. And then they would say that then you're going to go out, some of you, and you can't catch up. So they go out and catch up, trying to catch up with the thing about my woman, blah blah blah, to relate to what you just said. They're in there going to shoot hurt another man behind the women, and your insecurities, and the next thing you know, you're in jail for life, about proving to a woman, and a lot of men fight. They say, if you had no women in the room, there'd be less fights.
And let's just say that a real woman is not impressed by any of that.
Come on, Wanda, you ain't no joke, though. She's powerful. Made me think, one last thing, then I'll let you.
If I said that, people wouldn't believe me.
What was that now?
If I said that, people wouldn't believe me, so that's why it's good that she's here.
Oh, yeah. She's powerful. And the thing that I found out, the last thing I'll say, and then I will close out with you all's comments, is that I've also learned, I think I told Jason, he looked at me, some of the things I said, that I used to tease people. I've always worn glasses, even when I played ball in college, and strap around. And I used to have insecurities about how people felt about people that wear glasses because they figure you was weak. I've always had that, issue that you wear glasses, that you were weak, and I would tell the story of Clark Kent. Remember I told you that one day? Listen, when Clark Kent went in the closet, took the glasses off, you had another thing to deal with. My point being is I've learned through you, Sifu, the people I'm meeting, Master Griffin, but I've realized that you do not know who people are in life, and that's why I said you don't mess with people. Just walk in peace, because you don't know what you. Sometimes you can run up on somebody look just the sweetest little, calmest person in the world that would tear the building down board by board, and be standing at the end of the story. Because I told him the last one yesterday. I shared with my sister the philosophy. You said, was Sifu? You and Sifu. Listen, come at us with peace. Come at people that study the arts and Tai Chi with peace, because it's the only way you can come at them, because you can't win. Remember that?
Not really, but...
Yeah, he said, you have to come at martial artists for the martial art with peace, because you will not, what they're saying, you can't...
The end goal is always peace.
Right.
That's the end goal. A lot of time, people would say that violence should not solve the answer. My experience as a corrections officer and also as a law enforcement officer pretty much will tell you differently. But, the end goal is peace.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Sun Tzu said, in the art of war is, the good general is not one who wins 100 battles. The good warrior and the good general is the one who wins the entire battle without actually having to fight.
I've heard that one. That's awesome.
So, a lot of times, perfect example, when I was doing bail enforcement or when I'm running warrants out here and stuff like that, it is, I hardly have to put my hands on anybody. How I approach them is what would give the feedback as to whether they want to punch me in the face or not. That's just the basic nature of it, If I go up to them, put your hands on the wall and stuff like that, they're obviously going to be either in fear or they're going to be angry. One of those two things.
Absolutely. So the moral of the story is approach everyone with peace. Regardless of their background.
Right.
Absolutely. Like you said, we never know who we're dealing with.
Never know.
Never know.
Best to be at peace.
Absolutely.
How do you get, now for those that are watching this show, but also how will people get contact of getting some of this special enlightenment and wisdom that we've shared tonight? What is the number or an address where they could get involved or find out more?
We're in the middle of building the website.
Yeah.
We already have the domain name in the middle of building the website. Right now, I don't have the Right now, I don't have the link in my mind for the Martial Enlightenment Facebook page, but I'll put it on my website, which is www.the-service.us. And you can go on to Service One Productions, click on that, and you'll see all the projects that I'm working on for film and TV.
And the links to Martial Enlightenment and to Shaolin Temple. We'll have it also on our show here too. Shaolin Temple. I'm learning.
You'll offend the Chinese in my teachers.
Okay. Shaolin. Okay, I got you. Hey, I tell you that we're moving through, and I actually say it feels good to be back into the studio. Although I like outside and being outside because it's free to me. But I said some of the elders and people that say, "Well, where you at? Where are you when you're filming that show? And when you gonna go back to the studio for with they like to decorate the studio sets and all of that." But that was part of my trying to get out of here. I said that I've been saying that there's a reason I'm here. I think about I have friends that call me all over the country, and people say, "Sam, are you still there messing with them?" No, let me cut that off because I don't want to insult anybody. They say, "Sam, are you still there trying to talk to them crazy people up in?" And I don't mean that negative. People say that, and they say it, but got a lot of good things, positive things going on, right? Meet some positive people, so we're here until the Father say go on and move. So
basically, how do you take a negative impact and turn it into a positive impact?
That's right. This is a lot of work to do here.
Perspective.
I want to travel, though, move around. And then also when people do see this program in Connecticut and looking at some other stations. And Urban Bottom Line Facebook. We just connect that the other day. So the Urban Bottom Line Facebook, and I'm on Facebook, you all know, and contact us. The best is yet to come. That's all I can tell you. And to my friends and viewers in Connecticut and the web, and a lot of great things coming in the future. The best is yet to come. Any closing comments from you, either both of you?
Oh, I thought it was ladies first. So.
Oh, pressure's on.
You can handle it.
Peer pressure.
Just to sum everything up, is treat everyone with respect, live in peace, approach everything with a positive mindset, regardless of what's around you, and be calm in the midst of the storm.
That's power. Calm in the midst of the storm.
Added to that, be the best at what you can be, and if there's something out there that you enjoy, best believe martial arts can help with that, which includes singing, cooking, or anything.
Anything. No. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, that's great. I've enjoyed this, and once again, I say that I'm behind the scenes and working with the martial enlightenment. It's going to be powerful, and I'm looking forward to learning as much as I can about Tai Chi, the martial arts, people, life. And I always close and say this. I tell people that when I come on the program, I say, I'm not preaching to you. I'm only talking, for those that have said over the years, but the wisdom is there. And the one that makes people laugh, I said, listen, they've been through the fire, quicksand, and the storms of life. And many of you, everybody agree that in fire, there is all kinds of smoke and gases. But guess what? I don't smell like smoke. How did that happen? People say, oh, you know what I'm saying. I say, hey, I don't smell like smoke.
Fire can actually help
Purify
take out
you.
the impurities.
Yeah,
So
that's
iron
right.
becomes steel.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the bottom line.
Yes, sir.
Once you
Yeah.
go through the fire, are you going to come out like steel or just carbon?
Like pure gold.
It's up to you.
Like pure gold.
That's up to you.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's been a pleasure. Remember, 3 types of people in the world. Those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and surely those who sit back and wonder what happened. The best is yet to come, and that is the bottom line. Take care.
Each day is a chance for you. Don't be afraid to look inside of you. Each day is a chance for you. Don't be afraid to look inside of you. Peace on the inside is what should really matter. Take life one day at a time. I'm sure you'll find more peace of mind. Don't worry about tomorrow, the past or present sorrows. Focus on the good things